Hi guys, I'm back again. I know it's been a long time since I've done a video, but I'm here, okay? I'm here. What's up, my beautiful spirits, my beautiful creatures of life? Today, I started working, so your girl is doing the 9 to 5, but I'm not working 9 to 5 yet. I'm just doing training, so it's half a day. So reason I'm rolling my eyes is because I was frustrated today. Not at my work. Actually, I had a great day at my job. It was awesome. It was super easy. I was like, oh yeah, I got this. But, family. My family, I really suck at it. I really suck at my family because I hate communicating. Like, I will do things the way I do them, even though I know that somebody doesn't like it that way, because I don't want to communicate to them. I don't want to hear their negativity. I don't want them to say no, so I just choose not to ask. And I feel like a lot of people do that. And I feel kind of shitty for doing it because I know that sometimes it hurts them that I don't ask, but usually it doesn't. I don't do like bad things. I just do things that bother people, like drinking somebody else's drink, like taking somebody's curtains because they were in the closet and nobody was using them, like doing somebody's hair that's not my kid, or like I do things without asking because I like life that way, where it's unexpected. I like things being just that's just life. I like it just like I don't want it to be all strategic and like a certain way. I just want it to be cool, you know? Like my salad. This is like sesame chicken, but it's seitan because I'm vegan, so it's seitan. And this is like a salad with like chickpeas, black-eyed peas. I think those are like black beans, and then there's like iceberg lettuce, tomatoes, cabbage. I don't like iceberg lettuce, by the way, because it has no nutritional value. So I had to like buy something like a bean salad to mix with this, because I was like, I'm not gonna eat this salad if it's just iceberg lettuce. But the beans do help. They add a little protein, and I have the seitan, even more protein. And the reason why I went and got this today is because yesterday when I was at my auntie's house, I did my weight when I went and got in the shower, and I weighed 110. And I was like, oh Lord, here we go again. I'm back really low. My weight is low. And one second. That pepper was chewy, so I had to but right now I'm staying at a different shelter than the one before. This one's worse. There's a lot of women in each room. It's like 20 people to a room. Everybody's sleeping on top of each other. A lot of theft, a lot of uncomfortableness. There's shit everywhere. Somebody trashed my bed last night, so I had to clean it up before I could go to bed. And then yeah, it's not the best. It's worse than what I was staying at. Like I remember I did a tour for you guys to see the other place I was staying at, the other shelter. where I had my own room. It was nice. Nicer than this. This one, you don't have your own room. You don't have your own bathroom. You get what you get. And you get a bunk bed. And you get a locker. And that's it. And, yeah. And so that is really hard for me because I'm still in a shelter. So I decided, you know, even though I really don't like the idea of work, I decided, you know what, I need a job because I can't do it. So I got a job and I've been apartment searching. And that's been a struggle as well because I really wanted to stay in like the Heights, and the Heights don't have acceptance for low income. Like they really don't like low income people. So no luck really. So I was like, you know what? This week I'm gonna try the West Side. So this week I plan to apartment search for something on the West Side, and also get comfortable on the train, and also do a good job at work so that I can make money. I was thinking about getting a weekend job too because I was like, $12 an hour. I mean, I'm gonna need more money than that. So I was like trying to figure it out. And then also like today I was on the phone with my mom and she's like, oh, you know, I heard you trying to bring your grandma and your dad to your sister's graduation. And I was just like, yeah. And she was like, you know, I know because I know you. And I was like, okay. And she was like, I don't think that's a good idea. And I was like, okay. And she was like, you hear me? And I was like, yeah. And I was just like, so why isn't it a good idea? And she was like, Aubriana said that she was really mad at you when you sent the picture of your father to her. And you were like, oh, just in case you wanted to know what he looked like, and you sent a picture of him to her, she was really upset. And I was like, okay. And she was like, do you care? And I was like, no. And she was like, you don't care about your sister's feelings? And I was like, I didn't say that. I do care about my sister's feelings, but I don't care how she feels about other people. That has nothing to do with me. And she was like, okay. And I was like, yeah. Mind you, Aubriana does not know we're having this conversation. I didn't tell Aubriana that I was bringing them. My mom just wanted this to be this way. She wanted to do this thing that we've been doing my whole life, where every time my dad fucks up and does something bad, I have to be the adult sister who she talks to about why we can't talk to my dad, and that my little sister isn't ready for it. Now, Aubriana probably doesn't like my dad, which I get. And then I know that, you know, this is a big day for her and that she's going to be graduating. So I get that. But let her tell me, you know? You know? It's just like, during this time, it's like a lot going on already, and like that would just not be fair to her. And I'm like, no shit. I mean, I did try and commit suicide. Like, 6 months ago, and you're still with the man who abused me and her, and you brought more people into our house again who are beating on my sisters again. And yeah, no shit, that's a lot. I just thought, you know, maybe she'd want to see her grandmother who wanted to buy her things so that she could have some money and some things to put in her dormitory. You know, since she's graduating and she's going to college. You know, when I went to college, I really appreciated the people who bought things for me for my dorm. You know, I thought that would be like a good idea. And then I also thought, you know, this whole time we haven't been allowed to talk to our father, like, at all. The only reason I'm talking to him is because I chose to. because I was 18, you couldn't say shit? Because before that, it was like, no, you can't talk to him. You can't talk to him. No. So, you know. And then she was just like, that's so cold. You don't care about your sister. I was like, I didn't say that I don't care about my sister. I do care about my sister. I just don't care how she feels about other people. That has nothing to do with me. That's how she feels about other people. That's good for her. She hates them. Okay. What does that have to do with me? I'm not them. She doesn't hate me. She hates them. Now, what are we talking about? Like, what's up with you? And she's like, what do you mean? What is up with me? I'm like, you called me to have this conversation. Which, oh, and by the way, she started this conversation saying, I'm just calling to check up on you and see how you're doing. And I'm like, yeah, you had texted me last week, and I thought you were going to call me, but you didn't. She's like, yeah. I was like, okay. She's like, yeah, but before we talk about how you're doing, I just wanted to say something. I want to talk about something first. And I was like, okay. And that's how she brought this conversation up. She was like, you know, like, I know that you're trying to bring Grandma Colette and your Abba to Aubriana's graduation, and I just don't think it's a good idea. I don't think that's what she wants. I don't feel like that's fair to her. And I was like, did you talk to her? Like, where is this coming from? Like, she has my number. She's like, she doesn't know. And I'm like, right, because it was supposed to be a surprise. She's like, yeah. Don't you think you should tell her? I was like, well, I didn't at first, but now I think I will. I will tell her. And she's like, I was like, yeah, because where's this coming from? And she was like, you know, she was disgusted. You know, I told you about that. So, like, I just couldn't get over the fact that she said disgusted. I was like, disgusted by your own dad? Or disgusted by the fact that I did it? Because those are two different things. Like, are you mad that I'm trying to bring them to you? Or are you mad at me? Are you mad at them or are you mad at me? I swear to God, my mom thinks that I'm trying to ruin her life. I don't give two fucks about her life. Not anymore. I really do give a fuck about that car that I was supposed to get, that Toyota Highlander. I really do give a fuck about that. I really give a fuck about my $350 pillow that's still at her house. I really give a fuck about my sisters who are still at her house. And I really give a fuck about myself. Not you. Not her. Not her. And I just feel like that's like, it just rubbed me really, really farther away from her. And it was like, kind of like she was defending Aubriana against me. But I'm like, it made me feel like she's made my sister think that I'm against her when I'm not. Don't get me wrong, I am pissed off at my sister for a lot of things, but I'm not against her. I think that she's childish and ungrateful for certain things, but I'm not against her. But when she like had this whole speech to me, it made me not want to come. Like, it made me not feel welcome to come to her graduation. I really was just like, really, bitch? Like, and then she had the nerve to ask me, like, why aren't you coming? And I'm like, I am coming. Who said I wasn't coming? I mean, I did say I wasn't coming, but I didn't tell her that. But I did decide to come, and I decided I was going to go with my family, my grandmother and my father. And I don't know, I just feel like my mom is different, like a lot different. Now that I'm not there and I'm not being brainwashed anymore, I like looking in on the abuse that's still happening. Like, she doesn't make sense to me. Like, it doesn't, like, it makes sense, but it also, like, it's like, really? Like, you're gonna be a bully now? You're gonna be a bully? You're gonna be, like, blaming me for not coming to my sister's graduation, but then steadily making me feel like I'm not welcome to come. And then I'm like, if I go, I don't even want to talk to you. I don't want to talk to your ass. I want my picture with my sister. I want to say hi to my babies and my little sisters, my baby sisters. They're not my children. They're not my children. I'm working on that too, because I did definitely take like the parental role in their lives, and I was just like, these are my babies. These are my kids. These are my kids. I don't need kids. These are my kids. And I really meant it, and I shouldn't do that. Somebody told me that's not good. So I'm working on that, and I feel like that's why I'm like more energetic, I'm more motivated, I'm more like ooh and like fidgety and stuff, is because I feel myself learning and changing and being more honest about how I really feel. Even though I still really like care about all these people that I'm like pushing away, I'm pushing them away because I care about myself too. I'm pushing them away because I know that they love me, but they don't love who I'm becoming. You know, like they see like, oh, this opportunity to like mold me into a certain way, and because I'm not like, oh yeah, yeah, you could mold me, not, instead I'm like, no, I want to figure it out on my own. They're like, ignorance. And I'm like, it's not ignorance, because I spent my whole life being molded, like by my mother, by my stepdad, by family members, by everybody. I still take constructive criticism. I really do. I just don't like people telling me what to do anymore. And that's part of being an adult. Like a young adult, they don't like when people tell them what to do. They're like, my whole life people tell me what to do. This is the first time I don't have to tell anybody that, you know, okay. I don't have to be like, yes ma'am, no sir. I get to be like, no, and nothing happens. I don't get smacked. I don't get, you know, in trouble. This is the first time in my life I can be like, I don't like you. I don't care if you my friends, my mom's friend's daughter, whoever you are, I don't like you. First time I could be like, yeah, I'm hanging up on you now, mom. First time I could be like, yeah, I kind of had a shitty childhood. You know, like, the freedom that I have now is something I never thought I'd ever be able to have. Mainly because I didn't think I was going to be here today. I was just like, I'm out. I don't care. Sometimes I still don't care. Sometimes I really feel like all of this is for nothing because I haven't seen the fruits of my labor. I've been like crying and like, why is nothing working out? Why am I in a shelter? Why am I not supported the way I want to be? Why is everything so hard? And everybody's like, well, you know, you could just do it our way and it'll be easier. And I'm like, I don't want that. It's not that I don't want it to be easier, because I do, but I don't want it to be their way. I don't want to do things according to how somebody said it's supposed to be. They could be right. They could be so right, but because they said it, it's just like, I want to figure it out. You might be right, and I will tell you, I'll be like, oh yeah, you're right, but I want to figure it out, because I remember it better when I figure it out myself. And that's part of soul searching, is figuring it out. Duh. And you're never done. And even if you're like old as hell, you don't know who you are. You know who you are, but you know that there's stuff that like you wonder about. There's so much curiosity. That's what keeps you young, you know, like always wanting to learn, always being humble, always being adventurous, always being willing and open-minded. You could be an old person and be so young. You could be a young person and be so old. I feel like old is when you're like not keeping up, when you're not able to retain new information. You're old if you can't retain new information. That you could be 6 years old and I'm telling you your ABCs and you're like, no, it's DVA. And I'm like, no, it's ABC. DVA. And I'd be like, because you can't retain this new information, you're old. Yeah. I don't know, I like that. If you can't retain new information, you're an oldie. You're an old person. I will always retain new information. I love new information. I really do. But I like figuring it out myself. And I like help too, but just my way. Everybody's like, you can't just have it your way. I'm like, watch me. Like, it's gonna be hard. I'm like, it might. It might. But guess what? I'm way more happy now. Like, I'm sad because of where I'm at, but I'm actually happy that I'm free. Like, I'm free. I'm free, guys. I'm free. Free Guy. Y'all should watch Free Guy. Free Guy is actually a good movie. I watched it. It has a really good play on the idea of like the subconscious and like thinking about psychology. Like, it's pretty cool, and it's like technology and all that, but watch it. Even though it looked dumb, it's actually really cool. Anyway, I'm done with this video. I'm going all over the place. I gotta eat my dinner. It's cold in here. Peace, love, and happiness. Bye.